Hey guys, welcome to the video. In this video, I got a guy coming over who's going to help me do a little bit of work on the chassis. I think we're going to take the Nerf bars on the old chassis here and we're going to repurpose them. And I think we'll cut them up and make some changes to use them as a step bar. It's not really going to be a Nerf bar. It's going to be a bar on the side of the new chassis that is used for stepping on it to get into the chassis. Another thing that I've been kind of experimenting with over the last couple of weeks is I've been playing around with fiberglass and just some different techniques for the body panels that I want to make. I think I've commented in a couple of my other videos that I kind of have, let's just call this a dream at this point because I've never actually done this before, but with this chassis, I want to make this chassis and I don't really want to just put aluminum paneling on it. That would be very effective and all that, but you know, I'm not building this chassis to race it. I'm building this chassis for the fun of the build and so that I can take it up into the mountain trails just like I do with the existing Baja and beat it around and have some fun with it and have it be a part of this channel and, you know, constantly make things for it and make it better. In fact, that's what this chassis is. This is just an evolution of the first Baja bug that I built, and this is me trying to make it better. So because of that, I want to try and make some body panels that kind of set this chassis apart a little bit. Not that it's going to be super, super nice, but just that it's kind of different from a typical chassis that is just skinned. I just want it to be different, and I want it to be nice. So I've been experimenting, you know, over the last couple of weeks with some different fiberglassing techniques, some different materials, some different resins, just really all sorts of different concepts, let's call it. Different materials that I put the resins on, different ways to fasten it to the tubing. Some have felt or foam backing, some have this thicker foam backing, some don't have any backing. You know, I've been experimenting with what I can put on the steel so that I can put the resin and the fiberglass over it and it won't stick. Nothing concrete at this point, just me, you know, maybe coming out here and experimenting with some things so that when I do actually get to the point where I want to start, you know, making some panels, I at least will know what type of materials I want to use and how I'm going to, you know, blend it into the tubing and things like that. So those are just some things that I've been working on. So I'm just going to do some video footage now of me and Jerry working on the chassis. It's just going to be another Sunday of fabrication and taking the Nerf bars and making the steps for this chassis, and I might be playing around with some more fiberglass work, and I'm just going to kind of take some footage of that so that it's, you know, kind of taking you guys along as we're just tinkering around in the shop working on the Baja. And then when we're done, towards the end of the day, I'll show you what we got done.
Next level. 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 Next level.
It looks like there's just a little tiny piece. If we just ground a little bit, we could rotate that.
Okay.
Just so that these two. This has to be nice because this will be a high visibility for people in the car.
Okay. That's gonna look cool.
But it looks like this is center,
Yeah.
and it looks like they both come in roughly at the same spot. So this one here seems really solid.
Okay.
So I think if we tack this one,
Okay.
and then we'll adjust this one to completely mirror this one. It looks like
Okay.
our lengths are correct.
Okay.
We just need a couple of teeny
Little
tiny
tweaks.
Okay, can you give me a bevel on that one?
Alrighty.
Just kind of chamfer it all the way around. Nice, you're like a sculptor. Thank you. All right, guys, so we're done for the day. Let me show you what we got done. Originally, this morning when I was talking to you, I was acting like we were going to take the Nerf bars from the Baja bug and kind of, you know, make them fit here. We took those off. We sized them up. It just didn't fit. It wasn't going to work. So what we ended up doing is we just took some. This is 1-inch DOM. And just kind of figured out where we need to put our feet in order to get in and out of here, and just bent this up and welded it on here. Then if we come back here, I had in the Bentex software, I had drawn up these crossbars across the back here. And what I did is, just like I've shown you in some other videos, I printed out the templates, and then I cut the templates out, and did the whole thing where I cut these out, taped the templates on, and then grind out the copes based off of the templates and all that stuff. It's nice now that I'm starting to see how how strong this chassis is going to be with a mixture of the triangulation, which this chassis has a lot of, and then just all of the intersections. I've got it drawn up where, number one, it's got a lot of triangulation, and number two, most of my points of intersection for the triangulation is where all sorts of tubes come in. So that makes just an incredibly strong joint. So we got the cross tubes in. They leave room for the seat belts to come through here, and I think next week we'll probably work on, I think I'm going to draw something up that kind of comes back here and then intersects with the crossbar so that the seat belt can come back, and it'll have a tab here that it connects to. I did have the one-piece front end on, and I was hoping I could start kind of playing around with some templates as to how I'm going to kind of blend the one-piece front end into whatever I'm going to do for a windshield. I'm not really sure at this point, but I've run out of time. It's hard to do with one hand. May not look like it, but I'm getting a little more used to hopping in here without doors. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but when you're in here, it feels very secure. I'm kind of excited to not have the doors. I think that's going to make the chassis very, very strong. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of people tell me I'm crazy, but you might as well build it the way you want it to be and then deal with the repercussions afterwards. That's this video. It's just kind of a video of what was happening today in the shop, and just kind of give you an idea of what it's like working on something like this and what I'm doing to the chassis. Like I always say, I hope it's motivating you to possibly work on some of your own stuff, whatever it might be, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care.